One of the reasons for my investment in CapitaLand India Trust in May last year was to tap onto the growing economy in India due to its affluent and tech-savvy young population. Also, I am of the opinion that the country is one that will benefit the most from the geopolitical tensions between the world's two superpowers, particularly the United States and China, where we have seen an increasing number of companies moving their manufacturing operations to India in recent years to avoid being caught in the middle. In this video presentation, you will find my review of CapitaLand India Trust latest financial results for the first half of the financial year 2024 ended 30th of June in terms of its financial figures, portfolio occupancy and debt profile, as well as its distribution payout to unit holders. Let's get started. Before I begin, a quick introduction about the business trust for those of you who may be hearing about it for the very first time. CapitaLand India Trust, or CLINT for short, was the first Indian property trust in Asia when it was listed on the Singapore Exchange in August 2007. Currently, it owns 10 world-class IT business parks, 4 industrial and logistics facilities, along with 4 data centers development in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Pune, valued at 3.2 billion Singapore dollars. Looking at CLINT's latest results for the first half of the financial year 2024 compared against the same time period last year, I'm sure you will agree with me that it is a resilient set of results, where its gross revenue, net property income, and distributable income to unit holders all saw double-digit percentage jumps. Particularly, the 23% increase in its gross revenue to about 136 million Singapore dollars can be attributed to higher income from existing properties, income from a completed property, as well as contributions from 3 newly acquired properties. Property operating expenses jumped by close to 31% to 32.6 million Singapore dollars as a result of higher property taxes incurred by ITPL, operations and maintenance expenses, as well as other property operating expenses from existing and newly acquired properties. This led to the business trust net property income to record an improvement by about 21% to 103.5 million Singapore dollars. CLINT's distributable income to unit holders increased by 10.6% to 48.7 million Singapore dollars due to a higher net property income, partially offset by higher current income tax expenses, net finance costs, and trustee managers' fees. Moving on to reviewing CLINT's portfolio occupancy profile, I will be comparing the statistics reported for the current quarter under review against that reported in the previous quarter to find out if it has continued to remain strong. Again, as you can see from the table, just like its financial performance, CLINT's portfolio occupancy has further strengthened by another 2.0 percentage points to 96% for the second quarter ended 30th of June 2024. This was mainly due to a jump in the occupancy rate of Evans Hyderabad, which jumped from 75% in the first quarter to 95% in the second quarter. In terms of lease expiries in the coming years, about 8% of leases are due for renewal in the second half of the financial year 2024. Another 7% of the leases are due for renewal in the financial year 2025. 18% of leases due for renewal each year between the financial years 2026 and 2027. And 49% of leases due for renewal only in the financial year 2028 or later. In my opinion, this is very well spread out. Similar to how I have reviewed the business trust portfolio occupancy profile in the previous slide, I will also be looking at its debt profile by comparing the statistics reported for the second quarter of the financial year 2024 against that reported in the first quarter to find out if it has continued to remain healthy. Apart from its aggregate leverage increasing by 1.1 percentage point to 38.1%, all the other statistics remain more or less the same. Despite the increase in its aggregate leverage, it is still at a healthy level in my opinion. Also, at this level, it has a debt headroom of about 915 million Singapore dollars before an aggregate leverage limit of 50% is reached to embark on further accretive acquisitions. Debt maturity is also well spread out, with about 15.6% of borrowings due in the second half of the financial year 2024, with another 12.7% due for refinancing in the financial year 2025. 21.9% due for refinancing in the financial year 2026, and 49.8% of borrowings due for refinancing only in the financial year 2027 or later. The management of CapitaLand India Trust declares a distribution payout to the unit holders on a half-yearly basis, once when it releases its results for the first half of the year, and once when it releases its results for the second half of the year. For the first half of the financial year 2024, a distribution payout of 3.64 cents per unit was declared, which is an 8% improvement compared to its payout of 3.36 cents per unit last year. The improvement was contributed by an increase in the business trust net property income, partially offset by an increase in unit base due to additional units issued in May last year from sponsor subscription relation to the acquisition of ITPPH and Counter A preferential offering. If you are a unit holder of the business trust, do take note of the following dates on its distribution payout. Overall, it is a resilient set of results reported by Clint, where improvements in its financial performance for the first half of the financial year 2024 is due to contributions from existing properties as well as from one completed property and 3 newly acquired properties. As a result of an improvement in its net property income, its distribution payout to unit holders jumped by 8% to 3.64 cents per unit. Clint's portfolio occupancy also improved by another 2 percentage points from the previous quarter to 96%, with notable improvements seen in the occupancy rate of Avance Hyderabad, which jumped from 75% in the first quarter of the financial year 2024 to 95% in the second quarter. Lease expiries in the coming years are also well staggered out. One slight negative in Clint's results this time round is the 1.1 percentage point increase in its aggregate leverage from the previous quarter to 38.1%. But even so, it is still at a healthy level, where there remains a debt headroom of approximately 915 million Singapore dollars before its aggregate leverage hits 50%. With that, I have come to the end of my review of CapitaLand India Trust latest results for the first half of the financial year 2024. Please note that all opinions expressed in this presentation are solely mine, which I am sharing for educational purposes only. They do not constitute any buy or sell calls for the business trust units. You should always do your own due diligence before you make any investment decisions. Finally, if you have found this review useful, I would greatly appreciate it if you can give this video a like. Also, you may want to consider subscribing to this channel so you will not miss out on any new videos I may be posting in the coming weeks and months ahead. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again in the next video.